everybody? It is the one and only, the Sinister Minister, Johnny Ray, and welcome to the very first episode of the Sinister Room, where it's just let's just be honest, it's just a fucking little piece of shit hangout, place. So tonight, I got with me for the very first episode, I got Nikki Nines with me tonight. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, brother. Yep,
Uh,
me, Nicky Nines, everyone knows me, resident asshole. How's it going?
so, did you have a good week, man?
Honestly, it's been I don't know, man. It's been one of those weeks, wife's
Uh,
pain in the ass half the time. It's
Yeah,
one of those.
dealing with the shit that it goes on in this fucking community, I would not be surprised.
Uh, she hates it, dude. Like, she legitimately, she hates anytime I do anything drama fucking related. Like, I have to do that shit when she's at work because I work from home and she's fucking, a nurse,
Right.
so she's always off on the fucking go. So
Oh,
my ass is just like stuck to a certain time. Like after I'm done, it's usually after fucking I'm done with the bulk of shit and at lunchtime. We'll all
right.
come on for about a fucking hour, you know. But yeah, she ain't a fan, dude. And every time I do it, she's like, "You motherfucker! I chop your fucking nut! I fucking tire cock." I'm just like, all right, shit.
So, yeah, well, that's kind of like me, hey, man. That nowadays is because I'm on the road so much, I ain't got time to be dealing with
Mm-hmm.
all the stupid bullshit. So usually, like, I'll listen to somebody in the background while I'm doing other shit, and just usually I'm listening to Ken and or to you guys on No Hard Feelings. Which, if you're not
Mm-hmm.
listening to that show, go check out on Ken's Patreon. It's definitely worth a buck. But and then you guys brought back Dirty Rotten Podcast last night.
Yeah, man, it took a little hiatus for a bit. People have real life stuff to do sometimes, and but that's coming back because it's just fun to do. Like those are three real life friends since fifth grade.
Right, right.
So like we have each other's back like no other, know each other, get along like a motherfucker. So it's just fun to do something with the boys.
So this is like the first time you and I kind of actually got on a call and sat. So I'm not as familiar with you as like I am with like Mars, and I definitely don't know who VP is.
Mhm.
I've never
Yeah,
talked to. But so you guys are actually real life friends.
yeah. Mars, we're like real life best friends, dude. We've known each other since fifth grade, been in the thick and thin, been through everything together. And I only got into this because of him.
That's right. I
You
do
know,
remember. I do remember them saying that Mars kind of brought you into the community.
well, he's tried to get me to come in before, but so he would have me like listen to stuff. Turn me on, tried to turn me on to a few like Cronin episodes, and I'm like, that's dog shit. It's not even a dig at him. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm listening to it and I'm like, okay, so. And the weird part about listening to it was I listened to it for like 10 minutes, and in that 10 minutes, the dude's like asking for donations every 2 minutes, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I've been fans of streamers before, and like people on Twitch and whatnot, and I've never heard that kind of shit. So it's like, okay, I get it, dude. He's doing what he has to. He's trying to hustle, fine, but it's not my thing because I'm not really a wrestling fan,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know.
I think
So,
that's I think that's been kind of the major change for me, like in the past year or so, because that's kind of where I came from. Is I was actually listening to JD from New York at the beginning because
mhm,
I watched wrestling forever, and within like the past year, man, I've actually like I didn't watch WrestleMania this year, and that's never happened. I've never
mhm,
not watched a WrestleMania, and it's just I don't know. I don't know if it's I've grown out of it or if it's just the product's that bad. Of
mhm,
course, most people, everybody with it. This is my thing about with wrestling review shows in general is that there's so many
mhm,
of them that just shit talk the product that it's kind of hard to tell whether or not it's actually bad or not. Because there
mhm.
for a while there were things like, well, I kind of like this, but I kind of see what they're saying, and then it just got to the point where, like, you know what, I'm fucking done with that. I'm just gonna go off and do something else. Now I spend most of my
Yeah.
time gaming.
Well, it's more enjoyable. For wrestling, I think it's just like I watched WrestleMania and I kind of shat on it. Some of it I like, some of it was just like this is stupid. But I have to accept at the same time this is something that I loved when I was a kid.
Right.
and I'm not a kid anymore. And some people, always hold on to it. They have the good memories watching like Hogan and fucking Andre or fucking NWO or fucking the Attitude Era, whatever it was.
Right.
And it's just not that product anymore,
No, it's
you know.
not. It's
Eh,
not like when I was growing up. No.
Yeah, and I think that just some people, I don't know, man. People are so quick to kind of identify with stuff and get like latch onto things and then make that part of their identity. And it's weird how people do that. Like, there's a lot of people that make wrestling their identity. I'm a big wrestling fan. I got the fucking belts. I have the posters. I do the fucking John Cena waving the fart out of my face. Fucking can't see me shit. You know, people just get latched up on things, and that's fine. I mean, I have my things that I'm latched up on, and
Right.
but it's I don't know, man. If people enjoy it, that's cool. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter to me, but I accept it's not for me.
Right. I think that's a lot of that's kind of the thing that I don't get with the community in general is that it just seems like there's a lot of people that just can't accept that it's just not for everybody. It,
Wrestling or the community.
wrestling, yeah, well, either or, because
Yeah.
because everybody's got their taste. Everybody's kind of got. This was what's so weird for me. I've been around for about 4 or 5 years, and there's
Mm,
always been this little deal where you kind of had like the main hub of where everybody sort of, that's where everybody got known or met everybody. And then there's always
mm.
these little niche little communities within a community. It's the
Yeah.
freaking weirdest shit ever. Ever, but
No,
I don't know.
no, it's true. I was in one. I used to be part of I don't really wanna go into it too much because it'll be scary or it doesn't really matter. I used to be part of a big community of fucking, Joe Rogan,
Oh yeah,
for a
yeah.
fucking long time, for, like, on the forums and stuff, and all the people you hear me stream with ever if it's late night gaming session, those are all people from the fucking, from the Rogan forums. And I've
Oh,
known those
okay.
dudes for like fucking 10, 11, 12, 13 years. Really good fucking people and like really interesting walks of life of people. Like
Right.
if you ever hear Al on there, I mean the dude was a child soldier in fucking like Bosnia,
Oh
you know?
wow.
Like dude seen so much shit, done so much legit shit, knows his fucking shit, man. And really good guy. Really fucking cool guy. We play fucking Tarkov and stuff because it helps him with like PTSD.
Really?
Really, really fucking great guy. That's the only reason I even started playing the fucking game or even streaming it, you know? But, really great guy. We've had some fun just sitting on there shooting the shit. We've had things that I've had to take down because it was like, "Yeah, that's too personal. I'm not putting that out there in this community," you know? And it's
Yeah.
not even so much like on location. It's just kinda like, "Dude, you can't just no," you know? So,
It's gonna come back to bite you in the ass if we let this go.
but yeah, just different people. I mean, fucking Rogan's in our Discord. I mean, he'll
Yeah.
pop in fucking once in a while. So we just a lot of comedians, a lot of fucking, fucking MMA fighters, a lot of fucking, athletes, a lot of all kinds of crazy people. And it's fucking funny comparatively to this community because everyone in that community like is a trained fighter in some capacity. Which makes me fucking laugh because it's like I'm not a trained fighter, like I know how to fucking wrestle a little bit, but that's the extent of my skills where everyone in that community would just fucking shit on me. Where everyone in our little community is kind of just a fucking degenerate,
Well,
So it's fucking
for me, like especially when I'm not really hanging around there for a while, I got in with the Scammer Payback channel and his
mm,
community he's got over there. Just because it was so funny just to sit here, because what the guy does is he goes through and he gets on the phone with the telephone scammers, and
oh yeah,
he goes in and like they'll do like the bank account or whatever, and he like totally like deletes their files, all this stuff. He's a real big like security cybersecurity guy, and it's just funny to
okay,
watch like the reactions that he gets. It's from these dudes. But I like when I'm not there, that's usually where I'm hanging out because it's just learning about, because I like learning about that kind of shit with the
mhm,
cybersecurity and all that. And
yeah,
and it's so chill over there. Like that's the thing that gets me is like this is the only community that I've ever been a part of where like the drama is just constant. Like, you know, like I've been in communities where there has been drama, but 9 times out of 10, like
Mhm.
people would just go in and just like immediately boot them fuckers out, or they just
Oh yeah,
fucking make fun of them so much that that they just like they couldn't take it anymore.
yeah. No, that's the same thing with the other community with those guys. You're gonna get your weird dudes in there once in a while, but they get weeded out pretty quick because everyone like there's a certain vibe over there that of people where it's like, okay, if you're kind of fucked up or really fucking weird in any way, like nobody in this community would survive over there because
Yeah,
every single one of them would get weeded out real quick because they would, blood would be in the water, and then every single one of them would just descend on the person and tell them to fuck off,
I,
you know, that's why this community is so strange for me because so many of the people here I think are fucking dirtbags. Like there's some good people, like there's some great people here, like Ken. I love Ken.
right.
Fucking Dave. Dave's amazing. Like some of the not people that don't fucking call up are great too. Like Danimal, he's a fucking good guy. Derek Hance,
Yeah.
Dare for like just there's some good guys out there. And then there's people like fucking SC.
Oh god, dude. So like, did you watch the stream with Ken and Bullfrog, like on the converted?
Not was it just this one last week?
Yeah, it was just this last week.
Some of it, some of it. I'm not a big Bullfrog fan, like at
I
all.
like, okay, so here's the funny thing. So I call in on that show. That's the first time I've ever been on a call with Bullfrog,
Mm,
and because I up until that point I had no idea who the fuck this guy was. I had,
mhm.
because I just come back from like, taking a hiatus from everything, and had no clue who this dude was. And I even still did not talk to him when I was on the call with Ken because I was doing the whole fucking Consuela voice.
Oh, okay. That's fucking funny.
and 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 so I still don't know who that dude is. I've heard some shit about him, and like after like just one, like actually seeing him and hearing him talk, I'm like, I feel so bad for everything that I ever said to Tommy and C.
Yeah.
This guy
Um,
takes the cake.
yeah, a Bullfrog, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not a fan of him, but I'm also not a fan of the shit he gets because it's just like the guy's obviously got something wrong with him,
Right.
obviously. And I've never been a big fan of like attacking people. Like, that's one of the biggest problems I have with Joe is the fact
Yeah.
how he'll bring like Bullfrog on or somebody with some kind of disability and just shit all over them, you know?
And
Like, just make them seem like they're assholes. It's like, okay.
well, and two, I think there's a I think there's also a big difference. Like, this is what I've noticed with when it comes to that specifically, is I know like
Mm,
with Ken, myself, and a whole bunch of people that are kind of over there with FMN, we
mm,
may shit on people, but we're doing it out of for comedic value, or for just having fun with it. I mean, I've
mm.
sat there and talked shit to Tommy I don't know how many times, and I never really mean, I don't mean it. And I even tell him,
Yeah,
look, dude, I'm just playing around. I don't actually hate you. There's only actually one person in this community that I fucking hate.
mm,
That's it.
mm. I can probably guess who that is.
You'd be surprised. He's not around. I don't think he's
Really?
around anymore.
Oh, I was gonna say Scott. Shit, dude. Everyone hates
Dude.
Scott.
Okay, so this is my thing with Scott, because Scott is one of those deals. Back in the day, me and him were going at it on fucking Twitter, and everybody was like running for like, the dude, don't try to antagonize. I'm like, fuck no, I'm gonna go right after this son of a bitch until he blocks me.
Yeah,
He winds up blocking me, but like Scott, nah, I know this is my thing. I've been around long enough. I know Scott for what he is, and he's
yeah.
always going to be that way. He's not going to change. Uh, that's why we were talking a little bit before, or we started this. I was even skeptical. As great as the tribunal was, I'm not taking anything away from that tribunal.
Mhm.
Dave did an amazing job on it. But I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, I was a little skeptical at first because this is not the first time that sort of the not a a tribunal like event has happened with Scott. This has happened
Mm,
multiple times. Now, this time is a little bit different compared to last time. I will give it that. But I'm not going to lie. When they first brought it up, I'm like, man, I, you know, I've seen this before. Ain't nothing going to happen. Like nothing's going to come of this. And,
mm,
but at the same time, I had to kind of take a step back because I had to realize for me that tribunal was not meant for somebody like myself or the people that have been in this community for multiple years.
mm.
There's because we already know, and if they don't, they're pretty fucking stupid if they hadn't already figured it out. Oh,
No, true, true.
that's what it
But
is. And so I figured,
but I
this is for the new people.
part of it, but I think it was also like a groundwork because like a lot of people are like, will say, well, what did it accomplish? What'd you get out of it? Stuff like that. Well, ultimately, like I guess it's like look at where Scott was a year ago and look where he is now.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
and I take a lot of credit for this because I fucking gave that guy so much shit for a year that he fucking lost his shit. And then fucking everyone fucking kind of said, hey, yeah, this Wright and Rose fucking really led the way with the tribunal. And it was like a big, just the shit Scott did in between there, like
Right.
striking channels, you know, uh, stuff like that. Like it just, like he would literally, like everyone knew he was kind of scummy because, like, if you tell him something, he'll expose it or fucking use it against you at some point. But he did it to everybody now, and
Yeah.
there's nowhere he can go now. That's why I don't like worry about anything or any kind of fucking drama that really happens because it's like, dude, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You're gonna like anyone now. If you go to Scott, it's like, all right, well, you have fun with that, but he's gonna just turn on you anyway. So I don't give a shit.
Right. Well,
Doesn't fucking matter to me.
and that's always been kind of like my mindset is that the drama that happens like within the community and on YouTube, at the end of the day, it doesn't affect what I do outside, and
Oh, of course not.
it's like so I'm not going to sweat the bullshit that comes. If it comes, good God Almighty, the shit that's been said about me, in the in the past has been some fucking raunchy ass shit. But I
I
mean, I don't fucking, you can't fucking care about that, and I think that's part of the problem. People take, you and I have talked about it several times that people just take this shit way too fucking seriously.
mhm. Well, I think there are people that take the shit seriously, and I'm like you. Like I have a normal life. I don't really listen to the shows here. Like I have other things to do with my time, and I remember once I got like deeply involved and a lot of shit was happening and I was taking it serious. And I'm like, wait, why? I'm like lying in bed next to my wife. I got a great wife like 50% of the time, you know?
Right.
And, and I'm like, but this doesn't, nothing in this community can stop that. Like, there's nothing anyone could do to take this away or make my life more difficult. Like, people could be assholes, they could talk shit about me, but I don't care. I don't care what people say about me. Like, especially here, it's like, why, dude? Because I'm the one that has to live my life at the end of the day. And for whatever reason, if I walked away from this community, like, I'm not gonna think about it a year from now. If I walked away
Right.
today, and never came back, I'm not gonna think a year from now. Oh, I wonder what everyone's doing.
Nothing
You know,
changes.
I
Nothing
it's just
changes
not that
in
serious. Mhm.
nothing changes in the outside, and that's what I try to tell people when they because I've had a couple of my buddies that have gotten just really upset about some of the shit that's gone on here, and I'm like,
Mhm.
dude, you can't let it. I mean, look what you got going on outside.
Yeah.
You got a lot of shit going on for you. What the fuck is this going to mean in anyway in the end? It means nothing. I mean,
No, no, you're right. 100%. It doesn't mean anything. And there are people that take this way too fucking seriously. Like it just but it doesn't because it's the fucking internet, dude. Like this has no effect on your real life, I guess, unless you what's the word I'm looking for? Like all right, so the doxing stuff cuz that shit happens occasionally and
right.
that fucking sucks, dude. Like I'm 100%. If you're in a situation where your real life information's put out there and it could cost you your fucking job or some shit like that, go on with your life. Time to walk away because it's
Yeah.
not fucking worth it for this community. And there's people out there that will dox you. There's people out there that will get hold of your information and try to ruin your life for whatever
Oh yeah,
reason.
yeah.
You know.
I'm well aware, well aware. I've actually been doxxed before, and
Yeah.
but I also am the mindset of okay, you can dox me, but if you show up to my fucking house, you ain't making it out.
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
your ass is going to jail.
Well, that's a big thing people don't fucking realize is nobody's really gonna do much of anything because if you do, it's your ass.
Yeah,
Like you can't just dox people or you can't like because that was one of the big things. Like Twatty would say is he would talk about like with a wire that he was gonna get him swatted or some shit like that. It's like, dude, if you really did that, you know how fucked you would be.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
you'd be done. You can't do that kind of stuff. You can't fuck with people's lives like that. And that's why it's like, dude, just have fun with it. If it gets too much, just walk away because you're not really losing anything. I mean, it is just kind of a ball of a lot of it, like, especially if you focus on just the drama, it's a ball of negativity.
Oh yeah.
100%, and it's just undue stress in your life. And I don't think anything here is worth like stressing out about.
It's
You know?
not. It's not you worth. It's not worth losing your fucking hair over. Although I've lost pretty much all mine, so it don't.
Yeah,
I
it
ain't got
happens.
no more fucks to give.
Yeah.
But that well, and that's kind of reason why. Like, so for those that don't know, like what this show was actually about. Like, this is actually a Discord server. The Sinister Room is an actual Discord server that I set up like a couple of days ago, and that's kind of the premise. I wanted this to be like a place that people could be come hang out of like mind that don't want to deal with the bullshit and
Mhm.
want to just hang out. Oh, and then every now and then, hey, if we're having a really good conversation, we'll fucking record it, throw it up. Nothing fancy, nothing like off the wall. But I wanted to have that kind of control of who can actually be in here because I don't want the fucking
Mhm.
bullfrogs SCs. I don't want them fuckers in here.
Yeah.
They're kind of shit because it's not about that.
No, and that's how it should be. It should be something chill. Like it's nice to just chill and kind of shoot the shit. Like even talking about this part is kind of just a history or a synopsis of it. Like I by no means ever want that to dominate a conversation
No, well,
or even be a topic because I have no hard feelings for that shit. You know?
right. Well, like speaking of topics, you were playing Hades the other day, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
actually picked it up yesterday. I'm actually got to download it. I'm going to play it tonight. Hey, hey, but
yeah. Hades is fun.
I've been spending so much time on classic WoW. Forever, dude. Like you would think after playing a game for 10 fucking years that I would find something else to play, but I always go back to it.
Oh, dude, I played that shit for fucking ever. Uh, Classic. Are you playing on the official Blizzard servers, or are you playing on like fucking private servers?
The official Blizzard servers.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Burning Crusade to come out, and then I'm going to
That
start it
well,
again.
that's what I'm doing right now. Is I'm actually getting characters ready for Burning Crusade. I've got a character that I'm doing now that I'm just kind of easing along because he's not going to be my main. I'm actually going to do an enhancement
Mhm.
shaman for
Oh, nice.
TBC. And yeah, I've mained when it comes to WoW, I've probably mained shaman probably 3 or 4 times out of each expansion.
Mhm.
That's all that.
Yeah.
And I've always done like all the specs. I've done the enhancement, elemental, restoration.
Mhm.
I've done all three, and enjoy
And
it's.
hand, yeah, and hand shaman is probably one of my favorite classes in the game. Probably my favorite to play. Not now, not on the current live version because they changed it so much that it just became kind of like this sucks. Because to
Yeah.
me, enhanced shaman was always about that wind fury proc.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
wind fury proc that was like, oh yeah, I just fucking decimated somebody. This is awesome. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
not. I don't know how it is now, but last time I played, it wasn't like that. It was all about hitting like weird button combos and shit. And I'm like, all right, this is fucking stupid. I don't care about this.
The
You
thing,
know.
so I was playing Shadowlands right now. I'm not playing it currently because I just got really tired of Shadowlands. But I was playing Shaman, and
Mm.
Enhance. It still has like the wind fear, but it doesn't feel like meaty unless you
Yeah, I
have like the
gotcha.
like it unless you have the legendary because you get like in Shadowlands. They have these legendaries that you can get that have like an effect. Well, the enhancement one is like it's a buff to your wind fury,
Oh,
and
okay, nice.
when you pop it, it's just going ballistic, and it's a fun button to press. But outside of that, it kind of goes the problem that red paladins have. You know, when you with a red
Oh,
paladin, you hit that crusader or avenging wrath, and you're like God for 20 seconds. But after that, it's just
mm.
kind of like you're hitting things like a limp noodle.
Yeah,
the
I got.
the elementals actually really good when I stopped playing in the current patch. But after when I found out TBC was coming out, I'm like I'm out. I'm gonna go because that's where I started playing was TBC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know. I played since launch. I played since beta. Like I'm an old school
Oh,
MMO player. Like
really?
I played, yeah, EverQuest, fucking Dark Age of Camelot, all that fucking shit. So
I think the first
yeah.
MMO that I ever played was Star Wars Galaxies.
I know which one you're talking about. Is the yeah, I tried playing it, but my problem with it, and this is the problem with MMOs in general. Like if you never got to play like the glory days of EverQuest and shit like that,
Right.
like it, dude, best MMO ever. Because like the ultimate problem with WoW for me has always been the same thing. It's essentially just a single player game, you
Mm,
know. Because you kind of like, yeah, you could kind of group with people, and it was a lot better in the beginning and classic and stuff before they introduced like looking for dungeon and stuff like that. Because you had to, and cross server stuff, because you had to group with people. You had to have like if you're a cunt, you're not going to get anything accomplished because everyone's going to fucking tell you to
exactly.
eat shit,
Yeah.
you know. Whereas now you could be the biggest dick in the world and then just do looking for raid, which is
The
like, oh, okay.
For me the two things that hurt WoW the most where it kind of started like once these two things came in, I'm like, oh crap, it's fixing to get bad. Was when they introduced the dungeon finder and
Mm,
heirlooms. When they brought those two things into the game, I'm like, when they first brought the heirlooms out, like in Wrath of the Lich King, it was kind of okay because there wasn't that many pieces. But after
yeah.
like Cataclysm, it just kind of yeah, I was like, man, you when you could get to legitimately like 85 in just a few days, that for me was kind of it because I always liked the journey.
Hmm.
It,
Well, that's why EverQuest was so great, dude, because it was like a virtual chat room. You know, like you met really fucking cool people, and you'd sit there and shoot the shit doing, because it was hard. It wasn't like WoW, you know, like you die in WoW and it's like you're just a ghost and you go run back to your body, you know,
right?
and that's fucking WoW. Like you die and you basically go back to where you were bound, which is like, you know, like Soulstone. Like think
Yeah.
Soulstone with fucking, so say like you're bound in Torn Mills and then you died in fucking, I don't know, fucking Blasted Lands or some shit like that. You gotta fucking run all the way back to your corpse, butt naked. You know, I mean, it was hard. It was difficult. Like the raids were fun. There was no instance, so it's like if you're in a dungeon, you're playing with like 30, 40 other people. You know, it,
Oh,
it was
okay.
just, yeah, it was really, really kind of neat. There was like a real kind of cool sense of community in it.
I liked the when I was playing in Star Wars Galaxies. The thing that I really liked about it, and this was before Lucasfilm got a hold of it. Um,
Mm,
it was like you had to know people to become a Jedi in that game. Like it wasn't a
mhm,
class. You
mhm.
had to like know people that knew how to go get these items and like you know it was very cool. It was kind of the same scenario. You just sit there and it was like just one big chat room. And if you wanted to do anything, you had to take people with you. Otherwise, you wasn't getting shit done.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that I think adds more fun to MMOs because it's like you have this sense of community where hey, I'm playing with these cool people. They're helping me out. I'm helping them out. We're having nerdy fucking adventures. I mean,
Right.
it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Whereas in WoW, it's like you don't really need anyone. So it came to the point, like for me with it, like I'll still play once every few years. Check it out for shits and gigs because it's a good game.
Yeah.
A massively made, changed the fucking industry, but it got to the point where why should I play this instead of playing like something on my like just a single player game like fucking I don't know like Mass Effect or Dragon
Uh,
Age or some shit like that.
what do you think? I am not one of those that like pre-order games very often. In fact, I actively encourage people not to do that because
Mm.
to me it kind of promotes a scummy marketing that they've been doing for years. But when I found out, I don't care about them because they had the talk about the Mass Effect. They're releasing the Legendary Edition, and
Uh,
I don't give a shit about all the censoring shit that they're talking about that's going on with like Miranda's ass. Like, I don't care about the 3D chick's ass. I just want to sit there
mm.
and shoot fucking aliens.
Yeah, I didn't even know they were censoring. I don't. It's what it is, man. I didn't play to look at the chick's ass. If I want to see an ass, I'll go look at my wife. She'll watch a fucking porno.
Right. It's
So I'm
like,
not concerned about that. But that
and
was a great game.
oh, dude, it's one of the, I ran into a rut there for a while where I couldn't like complete a game. Like I'd get
Mm.
real far into it. Skyrim was the worst game to ever pick up because it promoted that shit.
Yeah, yeah,
I still have a love hate relationship with Skyrim. It's still on my computer. Still play it every now and then, but not after spending like 10 hours modding it. But I got
yeah,
But I picked up Mass Effect like on the PS3 a few years ago. Like PS4 was still around, well into its cycle, and I just wanted a little PS3, and I picked one up, and I got that game. And dude, I mean, there were times where like I would look at the clock and I'm like, oh shit, I got to go to work in an hour.
yeah. I was see for me the longest with when it comes to games, like it was a hard choice between Bethesda and fucking what's it called and fucking BioWare. Was it BioWare that made all that shit? Trying to think
Mm,
who made fucking
oh,
Mass Effect and Dragon Age.
yeah, it would be BioWare. Yeah, they made
Yeah,
Mass Effect.
and to me those were like just the two best RPG companies around because there was so much like Sky like I started playing Sky like the Elder Scrolls series in Morrowind,
Yeah,
and there was
same here.
something really neat about just walking around exploring the world. You don't really have to fucking do anything. You don't have to do any of the quests. Just exploring this lush, beautiful world and just losing yourself in it.
Right.
There was something really fucking cool about that. But at the same time, like Dragon Age Origins is probably one of the best RPGs I've ever played. Same with Mass Effect 1 and 2. Like there was something about those that you loved the characters, you loved the storyline, and honestly, I haven't really been into RPGs in a while. I don't have the fucking patience to play them anymore for some reason. And I just don't, dude. I regret it. Like nowadays I'd rather just play something like fucking Diablo or Path of Exile and just kill a bunch of
Yeah.
shit and fucking listen to a fucking podcast or some shit or some music.
Yeah, dude, do you get I'm actually waiting for the remaster for the Diablo 2 to come out. And I played Diablo
Mm,
3 quite a bit. Like when I'm not playing WoW, that's usually what I'm playing is Diablo 3. And
yeah.
but when it comes to like RPGs, I would agree that Mass Effect, for me, Mass Effect would probably be the best RPG in the
Mm,
modern sense.
mm,
But if I had to go with my favorite RPG, like of all time, it would have to be a toss up between Legend of Dragoon
okay.
and Xenogears, the very
So
first one.
more like the Japanese RPGs.
Yeah, and that's what I got started on. So I played the Final Fantasies, played most of those.
Yeah.
The Grandia series, I've played just about every Grandia that they've came out with.
Mm,
Um, and that's where I kind of got my start into gaming, was just playing that, because used to what I would do, like when I was a kid, my uncle lived with us for quite a while, and he's a big gamer. In fact, he got me into gaming, to be quite honest.
mm,
And I could, you know, multiple times I'd sit there watch him be playing these games that had no, these Japanese RPGs, and I'm like, dude, that looks pretty cool. Big ass sword and all that shit. As a kid,
mm. Yeah.
and and in fact, he's the same aim thing when he got me into gaming in general. He's the one that got me into World of Warcraft. And
Mm,
so that's one of the reasons why I still play it to this day, is because he still plays. He's been
yeah.
he's basically been my gaming buddy practically my entire life.
Okay. Yeah. That'll definitely do it.
So,
You know.
like especially in WoW, we were always arena partners, BG partners, or stuff like that. So who better than and somebody than family?
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, when you have shit like that to play with somebody, it makes it so much more fun. Like
Oh
Mars
yeah,
and I played a shitload of fucking games together. Like a ridiculous fucking mountain. Ah, man, that's just one of our things that to do. Especially like since he's in fucking back home in Vegas and I'm in fucking Canada. Like we can't hang out like we used to. So it's like we would be playing shit like fucking League of Legends, which I would never recommend to anybody because it
I
just
never
makes you
could get
fucking
into
hate.
it.
Dude, it just you're lucky because it just makes you hate yourself and everyone. Like it's one of those games that makes you so miserable. Like, oh god, and I'm saying that as a person who plays a shitload of fucking Tarkov,
Right.
which is another one of those games that just makes you say, oh okay, well fuck me, you know, fuck my life, because that's what that game does. That game literally is just stress,
Oh
and
man.
I have no idea why the fuck I still play it, because it's like, oh cool. Like I'll get my character all geared out, pimped out, then I'll walk out somewhere and just get fucking headshot out of nowhere. I'm like, oh okay, that was fun, thank you.
Dude,
You know.
it's been so long since I've raged at a game. The last time I had just a good rage is
Mm.
I was playing Diablo 3. I was playing a hardcore character, and it was a witch doctor. Got the witch doctor all the way up to Torment 9. I was fixing to go. It was back then. It was only the 10 torments, and I was fixing to go into Torment 10, and I died. Dude, I wanted to break my controller so bad. I was pissed.
Were you playing on hardcore mode?
Yes, I was playing on hardcore
Oh
mode,
fuck,
and
dude.
it was
Yeah, that would.
the first time I died, first character I lost. I was so mad.
Yeah, I couldn't do hardcore mode. That would piss me off so fucking much, dude. Because a lot of times, because you get like a lag spike,
Yeah,
and then you're just fucked. And oh, cool, I lost my game because I got a lag spike. That's awesome.
yeah.
God, dude, just
Oh man, yeah. The only other time I ever got like really really angry, but this one was actually kind of like, damn it, I was so close. It was me and my uncle were playing. It was back in Cataclysm with World of Warcraft, and I was playing a protection paladin, and he was
yeah.
playing a shadow priest at the time,
Mhm.
and we decided to duel each other.
Oh God.
For not shit you do. 45 minutes we're sitting there fighting each other. We finally get down. He beats me with 1 HP. One
Yeah,
hit point.
yeah.
I
That'll do it.
I mean I walked away from the computer. I was like, I called him up, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, that would definitely fucking suck, dude. That'd be a good way to fucking. Yeah, dude.
Oh, but
Yeah.
now look about it, like, dude, like I tell that story to people all the time, man. It's like one of the best stories I've got from a
Yeah,
gaming
that would.
gaming experience.
Yeah, yeah. That's that would piss me off. I never liked PvP in World of Warcraft because it like. I wish you could have played some of the fucking shit like I played like Dark Age of Camelot, which was a game just based on PvP.
Oh, really?
Uh, yeah, it was like realm versus realm. So you have like three
Oh,
different
okay.
realms. You had like the elfy hippie, Hibernia realm, which was basically like Ireland, Ireland, Scotland type stuff. Then you had like the
Right.
fucking Viking, Viking Midgard fucking realm, and then you had like the Albion England realm, and you basically all fucking hated each other. And it was very different from WoW in the sense, how like WoW is just Horde and Alliance, but it's basically what skin you're playing because every class is pretty much the same class.
Yeah.
Well, every class, like there was archetypes of classes. So, like, say for healers, so for like healers, Midgard had a healer, but he could heal. He had speed. He had haste, and he also had like crowd control, or like fucking the other healer of the other realm would have like heals also, but he would have like really good buffs and really good fucking
Oh,
stuns
okay.
and like hella nukes. So it just every class is very different from realm
Right.
to realm. So it was like amazing in that sense.
I think the only game that I've ever come across here recently that does sort of like what you're talking about, the realm to realm
Mm.
battlegrounds, I think is Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, I played a bit of it. It's kind of similar, a little bit similar in a sense, kind of. But I think that like Guild Wars 2, like there's not so much classes in that game because there's no like traditional healer per se.
Right, it's all
You know?
weapon. It's all based on what weapon you're equipped with, right? Yeah, like
Yeah,
you have like a from what I remember of it is like you have like a basic class, and then based on the weapon is how that class plays.
yeah. It's a great game. Really a lot of fun. They have those outdoor events and shit that are really cool. There's some fun to it, but I'm kind of a stickler for the old. Somebody's a tank, somebody's a healer,
I'm the
somebody's
same
damage. I
way.
always really like that, dude.
I'm the same. I think that's why I've had a lot of trouble getting into like other MMOs, is because I'm so used to that sort of WoW style of gameplay. Hey, so
Yeah,
whenever I go try another one, I'm like, oh well, WoW did this better, or well, this is Now there've been a couple
yeah.
of games that I've played that I'm like, hey, this is actually pretty cool. The one that I got into for a while, but it wound up being kind of pay to win, and so that's why I stopped playing, was the Runes of Magic, and it was really cool because you could have like you start off with a character, and it's like your base character and your base class, but then you could combine it with another class, and it wasn't like, and they had like 10 different classes.
Mm.
So that one class could be any one of the other 9 classes. And so the amount of combinations that you could do was really, really interesting. But to me, it was just kind of pay to win at the end.
Yeah, that's what does suck now. There are no. I don't like for like MMOs. There are no great MMOs today. You know,
No.
like there's nothing I could think of that's been, and it's been that way since WoW. Honestly, like WoW changed the market so fucking much that everyone just every game after that was just a WoW clone. You
Well,
know.
or it's supposed to be the next WoW killer.
Oh god, I'm so
Like
tired of that,
God,
man.
dude. Now I will say this: the only game that I've ever seen that I think would ever have gotten close to it was Final Fantasy 14. The only one that's ever come close.
I've tried that. It was okay. I'm
I'm
not a
kind of the
big
same
fan.
way.
It was okay.
It was okay. To me, what threw me off, the thing about Final Fantasy 14 that threw me off was the
Mm,
fact that you kind of, I couldn't get into the mindset of, when I picked a character and I pick a class, that is my class. That is what,
yeah.
and you sort of identify your character as being that class. Where in
Mm,
14, you can be anything. You're not limited. You could, yeah, as long as you've got the weapon, you can be, a warrior, or an archer, or in that game, it's a bard. Um, there's no like, there's no identity. You have an identity with the character, but there's no like class identity
mm.
to tie it to that character.
Okay, yeah, see that would get to me too because that's kind of similar to uh fuck what's it called? Guild Wars 2 in that sense. Like maybe that's just my rudimentary thinking, but I like in WoW, I just like playing tanks. Like that's
Right.
it. All I like to play are fucking tanks. I want to be a prot warrior. Probably the most fun class in the world to play because to me, or it depends on the expansion. Like tanking in classic fucking sucks.
Oh yeah, it
Um,
does.
it was fucking god awful. BC, it was all right. Um, but to me, like the time when the games were best was the game was the best was fucking Wrath of Lich King. Like you had
A
so
lot
many
of people
classes
say
for
that.
me. Well, I think the classes were the most fun, you know? Like they were the most fun at that time. Like hunters were a lot of fucking fun to play. They're all fucking very different. Prot warriors
Right.
amazing to play. Prot paladin amazing to play. The healers, enhanced shaman, it just everything was really fucking cool to play back then. Not that the other expansions were that bad, but they just weren't, they weren't the same.
See, this
You
is
know, they
where
weren't hmm?
this is where I was I for me it sucked, as I actually missed Lich King. I didn't get to
Oh, that
play.
sucks,
I
dude.
didn't get to play it. Now years later, I did get to play it on a private server, and
Mm.
but you know how it goes on the private servers. You
Yeah.
got to deal with the bugs, and you got to. Now I will say this: the one that I was on was actually pretty damn good. uh if you could get past the bugs. They did have, like, most private servers that are around, they have the item shop where it was very pay to win. This one
Mm.
wasn't that way. Like, you could if you wanted to, but they still kind of respected kept it that classic Blizzard.
Mm.
Yeah, so it was a good server, and I got to play through most of it. And it was not bad. And so it wasn't until years later I would have loved to have played it when it was live.
It was a lot of fun, and I think because for most people who played Warcraft, it was in the lore. You had
Right? Yeah.
Arthas. You had the fucking Death Knights. The Death Knight intro quest was like amazing, amazingly done. The fucking Ice Crown Citadel was fucking amazing to go into. A lot of fun quests, a lot of fun fucking fights. Like we used to have this one guy who would get stoned out of his brain before to play, and we'd all get pissed at him because he fucking sucked really bad because he's stoned out of his fucking dick. It's like, dude, and he keeps fucking up and standing in the wrong spots, and like, I think it was I forgot what the name of it was. There was a fight in there where there's this like mad scientist, and he's
Oh,
throwing like little goos all over the ground, and you have to
oh,
kite them.
oh man, I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember.
Yeah,
Was it in and I can't remember if it was in Naxxramas?
no, 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 no. It was an Ice Crown Citadel.
It was in
It
Ice
wasn't
Crown.
Nax.
Hang on,
Yeah,
we gotta look this. I gotta look this up. Let's see, Ice Crown, Citadel. Oh, Citadel. Once I see the name, I will know exactly what you're talking about. Let's see. Professor Putricide.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And he'd keep fucking up on it because he's too stoned and he couldn't fucking maneuver. And it's like, you fucking asshole. Like, God, I just remembering that fucking makes me want to rage. Um, I don't know, man. It was a lot of fun. That
Right.
that's what I know about the game. The game was a lot of fun then. Classes were fun. People were fucking fun to play with because it still had that little bit of everyone was kind of part of one another vibe.
Right. Yeah.
Before, I mean, and Cataclysm was all right. Like I wasn't bad, but it wasn't the same.
It was
It
no.
just
It wasn't the same. No, it
it just
wasn't.
changed the game so much in a way that I felt was, I don't know. It's just,
They tried
I
to
don't know.
make. To me, they tried to make. Uh, from Cataclysm onwards, to me, it felt like it was trying to be Diablo.
A little bit, yeah, a little
It.
bit. That was the same thing with Diablo 3 though. Diablo 3 was being got a little bit like WoW,
Yeah, it
you
did.
know.
Yeah. Yeah, I will agree with that. Yeah, but what to me where it really messed up is it got to the point where it was hurry up to the end game because that's how Diablo is. Hurry up to
Yeah,
the
it's
end game,
100%.
and that's where the game really begins.
Mhm.
And
Um, Diablo, I preferred it before that expansion it came out with. Like, I liked it better
yeah,
than because you would do runs and like because first when you first played it was ridiculously hard, right? It was
right.
like insanely hard on a level that was like, oh, okay, this is fucked up. Why the fuck am I dealing with this? But when they toned it down a little and changed things up, it was like you had to grind certain areas for gear. You had to do loot runs. Like I always had a favorite loot run I would do in Act 1, where it was just like all the because Act 1 was always my favorite one in Diablo.
Right. Yeah.
You know, all the skeletons, the crypts, and shit like that. It was just a lot of fun. And then they changed it in such a way, or they fucked. I mean, I guess if we want to be honest, they fucked up the whole game in general by
Yeah, they did.
by allowing the money store to be on there because it was like okay, and I'm fine with there being the money store, but the problem with that is they made the drops and the legendaries so rare that it was like you're not getting shit. Like you're legitimately getting fucking nothing. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
And
it
if you
almost
do get
forced you
something,
to the
you can
auction
sell it.
house.
Yeah, it was like they were funneling you to the auction house, and it was, but it was more fun than it is now because now when you play, it's essentially like if I go log on right now because I think a new season just started, I'm gonna go run rifts over and over and over to level up, and then I'm
Right.
gonna not really spend much time in the actual world, and then you're grinding those greater rifts, and it's like, dude, I don't want to do that. I want to spend time in the world and the fucking lore and stuff like that. So I
Right.
think they all actually follow that fucking path. But I will say I am looking forward to the Resurrected.
I am too.
Um, that's going to be fun. Diablo 4, looking forward to that. You know, whenever it
Uh,
comes out in the next, I don't know, 5 years. Who
yeah,
fucking knows?
whenever yeah, however long it takes them to get it. Well, like they're even behind on the current patch cycle for or Shadowlands.
All right.
9.1 is not projected to be out until some people are saying July, some are saying August, and that's being generous.
Really? Jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bad.
Yeah. That's why I'm just going to wait for fucking. I'm going to wait for the Burning Crusades to come to Classic and then I'll start that shit up again. You know, I'm
Right.
sure I got a few friends who'll do it. This time I'm going to do with friends that actually play. My problem is going with people that played but didn't like they kept changing classes over and over and over. And it was like that's cool. I get that. I play other classes, but we want to kind of or maybe that was the problem with Classic. Ultimately it wasn't friendly to a small guild,
No, it
right?
wasn't.
Like if you don't have 40 people to raid, you're not doing shit.
No,
Like you're literally
yeah.
not getting anything created. You're gonna and it forced you and funnels you into big guilds, which is kind of a mixed bag because it came down to we need XY class, and if you play something that's played too much, you're fuck you.
Yeah,
You're not
and
coming.
then you're stuck going and finding another guild. That's kind of why we like for me personally, I gravitated to especially in Burning Crusade and before they like did all the changes. Uh, I stuck with the PvP because it could be just me and my uncle playing together, not being a guild, but we could still
Yeah.
get our gear through PvP because we did the battlegrounds, we did arena, and so we actually did not do a lot of raiding.
Hmm.
Hey, which was fun, you know. Oh, that's why I'm looking forward to TBC because of the old system that was in for PvP. But I might try raiding this time around because I did enjoy what raiding I did do.
Yeah. I'm sure you did. Well, that'll be cool, man. If you fucking hit it up, I'll fucking come over and play with you. You know, we
Oh,
can fucking
hey.
get some shit done. You know,
Yeah.
fuck with people.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, but well, man, dude, I greatly appreciate you coming on and hanging out with me this evening. E- And
Yeah.
and
So it
and
was all
so
dominated by nerd talk.
yeah.
Fucking.
You know what though? Sometimes that's needed. But
Well, it's more fun to talk about the drama. So
oh, yeah, definitely, man, definitely. But All right, guys. So if if you want to get into the Sinister Room, all you got to do is follow me on Twitter at Johnny Sinister. I'll send you a link to get it into the Discord server, and we'll do stuff like this where we'll just hang out. We'll talk nerdy talk. We'll talk about whatever. But be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you guys next time. Y'all have a good one.